America, the Owner's Manual, is a book for those who want to be active in their democracy. It's a book of motivation. There are case studies which talk about people like you who have seen a problem. They either knew or they learned the skills of effective participatory citizenship in order to solve that problem and make their community a better place. It also is a book of instruction. There are 10 chapters, each devoted to a major skill of participatory citizenship, from how do you state the problem, how do you research the problem, how do you influence the specific decision maker, how do you build a coalition, engage the media, and the other skills necessary to make a difference in our democracy. I'm very pleased with the book and the reception that it has received to date. Its real test is going to be whether it'll make a contribution to elevating the level of active citizenship in this and future generations of Americans. If you read the introduction to the book, I talk about an experience that I had at Carroll City Senior High School in Miami-Dade County, where we taught a course in the subject of what does a citizen need to know to make government respond. And we asked the students to each take on a project where they saw something in their local community that they didn't like and would use the skills that they were going to learn throughout that semester of instruction to try to solve. And the students got extremely excited because they were things like the quality of water in their community, like the allegation that their high school was not getting a fair allocation of funds from the county in relationship to other neighboring high schools. Those were things that the students really cared about, and I think they were more excited, more engaged, and more effective than if they'd been dealing with some remote national or international issue. Each of the case studies is devoted to the skill set that will be discussed in that particular chapter. For instance, we have one chapter about a neighborhood in Washington, D.C. that was overrun with drug dealers. Initially, the people didn't think there was anything they could do about this, but they began to learn some of the skills of how you build a coalition, and they brought together the citizens in this neighborhood along with some other important institutions such as churches and synagogues and the police, and in a relatively short period of time rid their neighborhood of the drug dealers. We have another about situation in the Florida Keys, where after 2 major hurricane seasons they saw a sharp spike in their insurance rates. They found that there were a number of people living in the Keys who knew a lot about all of the issues involved in setting insurance rates, meteorology, building construction standards, actuarial processes. They brought those people together and did a research on the Florida Keys and found that these increases in rates were unjustified. They not only were able to beat back the increases, but they actually had their rates as they had been prior to these 2 hurricane seasons reduced. Those are the kind of case studies that show you can fight City Hall, you can make a difference if you're willing to be disciplined, to know what to do, apply those skills, you can make a difference. We have 11 different case studies, and I think they each contribute something to the idea of what a citizen can do in a democracy. I guess one that I talk about a lot is the one involving a lady in Sacramento, California named Candace Leichner, whose 13-year-old daughter was killed by a drunk driver. She could have just grieved and received the personal support of her family and friends for this tragic loss, but she said, I want to go beyond that. I want to actually do something about drunk driving. The symbol of her success was that in the year her daughter was killed, which was 1978, 25,000 Americans died by a drunk driver. By the year 2008, although the country had grown by 10 or 15% in population, the number of Americans killed by a drunk driver had been cut to 14,000. That change was almost totally due to Candace Leichner and the organization Mothers Against Drunk Driving that she founded.